Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to continue our study in Pythagorean theorem. This question right here actually will come in a Pythagorean theorem unit. So how do you know if a triangle is a right triangle? You would see this particular question again in a Pythagorean theorem unit, whether that's middle school math, algebra 1, algebra 2, geometry. If we're talking about this right triangle here, okay, and we're talking about the sides of right triangles, we are always dealing with the Pythagorean theorem, okay? So I'm going to put right here how we're going to know it is using the Pythagorean theorem. Okay, now I have some other videos already uploaded about the Pythagorean theorem, and we had some great detailed conversation here about that, and we already know that it follows this formula. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Okay, so if we know three sides of a figure, it is very easy for us to figure out if it really is a right triangle. And the answer will be yes if it follows this Pythagorean theorem. So let's look at the first. Subscribe to my channel. Have a great night. So here I have a figure, and the units of this figure, there's three sides, is 7, 12, and 15. We can say that's 7 inches, 7 centimeters, whatever. Okay, we didn't specify units. But the lengths of these sides are 7, 12, and 15. Okay, and we want to determine if, in fact, this is a right triangle. Now, the way that we're going to do that is, again, we're going to use the Pythagorean theorem. So if A represents 7, or 7 represents A, 12 represents B, and 15 represents C, let's erase that right there, okay? 15 represents C. All I have to do is substitute this into the Pythagorean theorem and see if it actually works out. So let's check it out. So if A is 7, that means 7 squared. B is 12, which that means 12 squared. C is 15, so that means 15 squared. All right? So 7 squared is 49. 12 squared is 144. And 15 squared is 225. Okay? And so what we want to do now is figure out if this is in fact true. When I add 49 and 144, I end up getting 193. Is that equal to 225? Is it? No, it's not at all. Okay? So 193 is not equal to 225, so we can conclude that this is not a right triangle. Okay? So again, if it's a right triangle, it will follow the Pythagorean theorem. Let's look at the next. Make sure we have 6, 8, and 10. So again, we have some sort of figure, and we want to determine, again, if it is a right triangle. How do we do that? We take 6 as it represents A, 8 as it represents B, and 10 as it represents C. Okay, so what's next? You got it, the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Okay, so we have 6 squared plus 8 squared equals 10 squared. It's just substitution. So what is 6 squared? It's 36. What is 8 squared? It's 64. What is 10 squared? It's 100. Okay, so we're going to add 36 and 64 together, and that's 100. Well, does 100 equal 100? Absolutely. It checks off. So it's very easy. Very easy. It's not difficult at all to figure out if you have a right triangle or not. If it follows the Pythagorean theorem, we do have a right triangle. So hopefully that was very helpful for you. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, or you may email me at math5stutoring@gmail.com.